preparing your document to paste into My Publishing Assistant's story content field. For the majority of you, you guys won't have an issue at all. You'll copy and paste your document into My Publishing Assistant and it will just work out fine. For other of you, you might have some formatting issues. So let's say, for example, you have this document here. You have your indents, you have your centering, your bold, all that stuff. You select all, you copy it, and then you paste into the story content field. And then you notice that everything is now left justified and the double spacing is gone. It just does not look like what you wanted it to look like. The reason for this is that little guy right there. It's paragraph stylings of Microsoft Word versus WordPress. The problem is the two systems aren't exactly alike and they don't really talk to each other perfectly. So when you create a style in Microsoft Word, it does not carry across to WordPress. And WordPress is looking for very specific things. It understands what it thinks normal is, but it doesn't know necessarily what Microsoft Word thinks normal is. And if you were to buy Microsoft Office off the shelf and start using and create documents, everything would work out beautifully. However, when you start customizing stuff, that's when you get issues. So let's take a look at how to solve the problem. And to do that, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this document here, this poorly formatted document. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my PC, Shift F1 to reveal formatting. If you're on your Mac, you will go to the View. You'll go to View up on top, and you'll go down to Reveal Formatting and click on the checkbox, and it'll give you a cursor that looks like a little dialog box, and you'll be able to click on words to find out what the formatting of that word and chapter is. But let's use PC because clearly it's easier. So what you can do here is you can select any section of text and it'll show you what the formatting is. And if we look at this, it says that the paragraph style of this section is something called My Style, which is obviously a customized styling. It could say something like Normal 1. It could say a whole range of things. But what we want to do is we want to create it into something, a language or a style that WordPress completely understands. So we're going to go ahead and select all of it, and we're going to change it to normal. And once we do, we see that under paragraph style has disappeared, meaning that this is now normal. Now when we copy and paste this into My Publishing Assistant in the story content field, it will apply the standards of normal to it. Now that would work, again, great for the vast majority of the small minority of you that have issues, but if you have customized your normal settings, then you're going to continue to have issues. So let's take a look at another document that will explain that. So this is the document we were looking at before. And again, we're going to reveal coding. So we're going to hit Shift F1, and we're going to see that it kind of looks like the old one. In fact, if we compare the two, we'll see that this one has first line of 0.3, while that one has no first line indication. See? You can see the differences there. And that's because this one is purely normal, and this one is customized normal. And that is what WordPress is having an issue with. So we're going to have to make our normal, we're going to have to turn it back to the default, or at least turn it back to something that WordPress completely understands, specifically taking out that first line. So what we'll do is we'll go up to our little strip here with our styles in it, go to the downward pointing arrow there, which you can also get to by hitting Control, Alt, Shift, and S at the same time. And then we're going to go all the way to the bottom to one of these boxes, the one that says Manage Styles. We'll click on that. And this tells you what the style of the document is. In this case, it's Bookman 12, first line is 0.3, double line spacing. We're going to modify that. So we're going to go down to Format, and we know all that stuff that we need to change is under Paragraph, so we'll go there, and here it is, Special, first line, 0.3. No, it has to be completely standardized, so we'll make that None. And since we're here, we're going to go ahead and change that line spacing from double to single, because I prefer single, personally. And because I'm here, I'll go ahead and change that from Bookman to Times New Roman. And we can look underneath here and see that the new format that we're creating is Times New Roman 12, single spacing, and normal indent. Perfect. So we can choose to apply to only this document, or make new documents based on this template. I would suggest you do this so that all of your documents you create in the future are also correct. But for this example, I'm only going to apply to this one document. I'll hit OK, and it'll ask you to do it again. So we're applying it to this one document again. OK, and it automatically makes that change here. We'll notice that everything is left justified, and this is not. I wonder why. When I highlight that, it'll say, oh, look, this is on heading number 1. Well, that's one of the things that WordPress doesn't understand, because it's heading number 1 for Microsoft Word. But what does that mean to WordPress? So we're going to have to make that normal as well. So we're going to highlight all of it and go up here and click on normal, and it sends it to the left there and just makes it like every other text. Unfortunately, we now have to reformat it, so we'll just go ahead and highlight everything. We'll create an indent this time with the ruler, and then we'll have to make a little change to our chapter there. So we'll take because we want it to be truly centered, and we'll take that indent off, make that centered. We'll change that to 16. We'll also make that bold, and voila, there it is. So we're going to go ahead this time and select all and copy it. Go back to the field and then paste it in once again. And now we have it exactly the way we set it up, with our indents, with our centers, with our bold, and everything else. That is how you prepare your document for pasting into My Publishing Assistant Story Content field. I hope this was helpful.